What would I do if I only had £10,000 to start a property business? Now, £10,000 is not going to really buy you a house, it's not going to buy you a flat, it might buy you a caravan somewhere, but you want to get into property, you're going to need significantly more than £10,000. So how is it you get started? And if you know my story, you'll probably know that I managed to build this business starting with no money over the time and build it quite a substantial business. So it is possible. Here's what I would do, because there's a lot of different ways you can do this. The first thing that I would do is what I actually did do when I got started in property, and that's get very good at finding deals. Now, when you talk about finding deals, you're finding opportunities where you can profit from property, and it may not be that you're going to purchase that property, and at the beginning it isn't going to be the case you're going to purchase it. What you would do, you sell the opportunity to somebody else and you charge a fee for that. That could be 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, depends on how good the deal is, how much value you're bringing to the table for somebody. So the first thing I would do is get really good at sourcing and finding opportunities, because then I can also start cherry picking where I think the best opportunities might be. And with those ones, I would start nurturing and building relationship with people that have got money and want to make money from property. Then what I'm doing, I'm positioning the opportunities I'm finding. Hey, so come and work with me on this. Rather than me selling this to somebody for £3,000 or £5,000, there's a great opportunity to make £50,000, but it requires £100,000 investment. So if you work with me, you fund this deal, you put the £100,000. If we make that £50,000, we'll share it £25,000 each. So that's an example of how then I would transition to joint venture, which is essentially what I did. And this is my journey in terms of how it evolved from where I started from. So this will then start allowing you to build the amount of capital up that you have in order to say maybe purchase property. But then we also have very creative strategies like options and lease options where we can control a property rather than purchasing it outright. And there's a number of different ways you can control a property. So for example, even the simple rent-to-rent concept, which many people have probably heard of, where you take on a property that you're renting from the owner and effectively you're re-letting it out for more money. You're sitting in the middle, you're paying, say, a market rent, but you're actually supersizing the income on the other side. And those strategies I definitely explore, and we did as well when we started. So rent to HMO, rent to service accommodation, where we're taking on a property from an owner, we're putting what's going to be our cost there. We're going to be paying a month's rent in advance. We've got a deposit we're going to pay. We might have to do some light refurbishing work on the property just to get it up to scratch and compliant. We've got some furnishing costs. So we're going to be spending a few £1,000s on that property to be able to get into that deal. But that deal should be making us £800, £900, £1,000 from that one particular deal that we're going to be generating each and every month. So let's say we put £8,000 into that deal, we're making £1,000 a month. 8 months we'll have earned our money back that we put into that deal. Now let's say it's rent to service accommodation you're doing. This again, you're controlling property for a period of time to create a higher income. So a little bit different from service accommodation, but the end result is still the same. You're increasing the amount of income that you can bring into that particular property so that you can take a profit and still pay the landlord each month. When it comes to controlling property, there are so many creative ways to do this. So for example, I can start looking for property that needs renovation. Maybe it's empty, it's a tired property that's up for sale and it's just struggling to sell. They're not being able to achieve a sale on it. Most probably because they're probably asking too much money for it and nobody really can see the sense in purchasing it and all the purchase costs involved and then renovating it and then trying to sell it for a profit. Well, I could partner with somebody where the property doesn't need a huge amount of work doing to it. It just needs tidying up and freshening up and put it back on the market. You'd probably make another £10,000 or £15,000. Well, I could partner with an owner of a property and say, hey, look, I'll take care of this in terms of I'll freshen up the property. I'll put a bit of money and time and effort and energy into it. Then we'll re-advertise the property because right now what we're doing is not working, it's not selling. We'll make it more nice and modern appealing. And that could be a lick of paint and fresh floor covering, for example, a few £1,000s. And we'll take it back to the market, cleaned up, looking nicer, a lot more attractive. We'll market it well. And then when we achieve a higher figure than what we're even trying to achieve now, and you'll get paid the figure that you were looking for, I'll get my initial money out that I put into the property, and then we'll split an additional profit that we make over and above that. So the benefit of seller is they're making even more money than they're trying to achieve right now, which they're struggling to achieve. The thing that really helped me build my business over time was other investors working with me, funding deals for us. And that only happened by one, demonstrating exceptionally good value, i.e. that there's amazing value in this particular deal if they're going to work in and the things I'm going to bring to the table for it to be a fantastic opportunity for them and want them to invest, and also de-risking it for them that I've got people I'm working with that are experienced, that understand what they're doing, so we're not going to mess up on the deal and lose money for me and also for the investor as well. And as you do more of those, you start building a track record and it becomes easier and easier to attract more money for projects that you're doing. But ultimately, this all is only possible by understanding what and how to do this. So when we talk about starting with £10,000, I'd probably put 10% of that at least straight into learning and investing and improving and growing and trying to benefit and learn, trying to benefit from and learn from people that already achieve phenomenal results by having either a coach, a trainer, a mentor, guiding me to be able to get much bigger results. So I'd invest some of it back in myself in terms of improving my knowledge and education. I'd start sourcing initially. Then what I would do is I'd start partnering with other people in terms of getting them to fund deals. I'd look at the rent-to-rent strategies, rent-to-HMO, rent-to-service accommodation, and I'll be partnering with owners of property where I can add value. And there, with £10,000, you can achieve a phenomenal amount. Hey, if you're enjoying these Saj daily videos, then what I'd like you to do is click on my face over here to subscribe to the channel, and also click on the bell in order to get the notifications when these videos are being released. Then what to do next is click on this video here, and I'll see you over here on this video next.